everybody, it's Charles Harper here. Now in this video, I'm going to show you something that's maybe is only going to apply to a few of you, and not everybody is looking to write a book first of all, even though I think you should, and not everybody's going to be looking to take that book and turn it into an audiobook. So now one of the problems in trying to do an audiobook and trying to do it sitting at your computer is the logistics of it. You know, how do you narrate something, not make a mistake for 30,000 words? Well, obviously you can't. And so the easiest thing that I've found to use, and even in doing this for other people, is to use Camtasia Studio. And I'm going to show you how I use Camtasia Studio. Now, obviously, you're looking right now at a Camtasia Studio editing screen. So I'm going to look off to my up here. I'm going to look off to this side. So I kind of show you how you can do the very same thing too. Now you're going to notice right here, and you see my cursor here, that you've got the timeline down here. What you don't need is a PIP. That's me in there. I could have probably done without having that in there, but that's not going to be a problem. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I want to show you a couple of places here on my timeline. Number one, you're going to see down here that I've got three long bars. Now, what's happening there is that is me basically clapping just like that 3 times, and that signals to me that that's where I'm going to start the audio. Now, the reason that Camtasia Studio works is that I try to watch myself go down the page so that I know where I am in case I have to go back and correct myself. So if I move this cursor, now you can kind of watch. You can see where the screen is moving through my Word document. So I'm literally reading my Word document as I get started. The other thing I do is I enlarge my Word document as big as I can so that I can see it during the editing process. Okay, so when I get to these 3 claps, that's literally where I'm starting the narration. And anytime I make a mistake, right? So when I get to this point in my narration, that's where I'll see those 3 claps there. That is an indication to me where I've made a mistake. And pretty much everything that comes before that means that I am probably going to have to go back and edit out that paragraph. Okay, so in this particular case, I'm not sure where this word, what this word is when I pick it up there. Okay, so basically all I've done here at this point, I started there after the mistake at why write a book. So that means I've done the mandate to help. So what I need to start with is wherever on the timeline when I get done with the mandate to help. And actually I didn't
Why
do
write
that,
a book?
but okay, this is just an example. So okay, I started with why write a book. Okay, so that's the mandate to help right there.
The mandate to help.
So this little part in there is the mandate to help. And so what I can do in Camtasia is I can see the timeline a little better if I spread it out. I can also raise it up some. Right, so now I can see it a little better. So the mandate to help is where I said this right here. So now what I need to do in Camtasia is I need to take out all the other stuff. So I'm going to go in there and I'm just going to go all the way here to about there, and I'm going to actually, let's go back there. I'm going to come all the way up here, and then I'm going to take out that paragraph where I made the mistake. So now when I get there, that part's going to be everything that I read so far. And so I don't see any other mistakes, because the way I indicate that there's a mistake to myself is I clap 3 times. So as long as I don't see those 3 claps in there, I know that I've got a good document. So I can go in now and I can go all the way up here and I can take out that information. And so I've got a good I've got a good document here. I've got a good reading here. And so I've done, to my satisfaction, literally, I've done the first part of this narration and I know it's good. So now that I have this, one of the things I'm going to want to do now is I'm going to want to then process this as either an MP3 or a WAV file. And I can do that inside of Camtasia. So all I've really got to do then is I can go to produce this document and share it. And Camtasia is going to give me a list of things, and I'm going to do a custom production. And so what I'm going to do is then create that as an MP3 audio. Now, they're probably, those of you you're probably a little more pure in terms of getting your document, in terms of getting your audiobook onto Audible. You might say this isn't going to be of high quality enough, but for some people to just get it done, this is going to be probably the best that you can do. I mean, you can definitely hire somebody. You can definitely be in the studio and do it, but I'm sitting here in front of my computer and this is going to be done and the audiobook's going to be done. Now, the other thing that I'm going to show you, I would not be using the mic that I'm using right here. I would be using this Audio Technica 2020. I think it's about $100. You do probably need a higher quality mic that you're going to use in order to read this. And ordinarily, if I'm going to record an audiobook, I'm going to use this mic, and it's a USB, and it's a really good high quality mic and makes a really good sound, a really deep sound. I'm going to be using a pop filter, okay, which you can see here. Okay, normally I use my mic stand and my pop filter, and those two things, you could even consider them to be extra. I mean, one of the ways that you could probably do this if you had to do it on a budget, right? If you just had to get it done and you didn't have all that stuff, I like to get a high quality headset. I've got a very good quality headset. I don't pay $200 for it. I think I paid $60, right, for a good Plantronics headset. I adjust this down, right, so that I'm not talking into it. So what happens is if I take this away from my mouth, that really almost eliminates a lot of the popping that really takes place. Then what you're going to do, of course, is you're going to go back into Camtasia and you're going to come back in here, and if you see following my cursor there, you're going to be able to go to this file, click audio, right? The audio processing, and Camtasia is going to give you some options. One of the options you have here is that you can volume this up, right? We can volume this up. We can volume this down. Personally, they've got some other settings such as voice optimization. I've never used that. I don't even know what that's for. You can play around with that if especially since you're doing an audiobook, if you think that's going to help you. But I would definitely play around with this. One of the advantages of having this Camtasia file is once I get done with this, I'm going to save this now as a Camtasia project, right? So that's going to take the raw file, right? That's going to take the raw file and it's going to save it, and it's also going to give me a project file. So I'm going to be able to save all my changes. So I'm going to have the original file that I had. I'm also going to have this project where I made these changes, because I can always come back to the project and volume it down or volume it back up and save it as a new project so I can compare the two, right? So Camtasia, to me, it's ideal. If I bring this cursor to any place on the timeline, it allows me to see where where I am in the process, if I have to go back and correct something, and then I know I've got a good sound file. And now all I'm really going to do now is I'm going to go back and I'm going to turn this into an MP3. So this is a really quick and simple and dirty way of doing of kind of rendering now. And I'm doing this for myself for the most part. So I'm gonna get this done, this audio book done. And for those of you might be struggling and trying to figure out how to actually do it, you want to get something on the books. It's not gonna be a superior Carnegie Hall production, but you will have it done. You will have a file to send to ACX.com, which is where you're going to take your audiobook and then turn it into, or you're going to take your book and turn it into an audiobook, and you will then be ready to done. So if you have some other things that are you think work better for this process, if you have some things that, let's say, kind of keep this on the low end in terms of cost, let me know that. Put them in the comments, and then make sure to subscribe. I kind of do videos that probably are a little weird because I try to do them in that gap between stuff that people don't talk about and people that are actually doing stuff that I just don't find a lot of tutorials on. Okay, and these are some of the things that I just discover along the way. So if this helps you, let me know that. Make sure to subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.